Hello, my powerful posse, and welcome back to my channel, Purple RX. It's your girl, Renata, your friendly and resourceful PharmD, here to help you navigate this health and wellness world so that you can see it from a more holistic point of view and figure out what works for you, because not everything is for everybody and everybody is not for everything. All right, today is Mineral Mondays, but we're not doing Mineral Mondays. I know, y'all gonna get these. I just washed my hair and it's in an avocado mask kind of twist, so y'all got to deal. Since we're not doing Mineral Monday, I was listening to something and I came across a message. And it was something that I had done, but I didn't know I was doing, and something I had embraced within myself, within my whole life, to understand who I am and to come to a better place of who I am and who I am to be. And one of the things I think I partly had talked about this in another video, but I'm really gonna talk about it today. And it's befriending your fears. I know y'all are like, I ain't trying to be friends with my fears. There's too much going on. This. My fears, they help me. They protect me. Some people know that fears are false experiences appearing real. And a lot of us right now are in so much fear. We're in fear of the world ending, in fear of our world changing and not being the same, in fear of not being able to be in the comforts that we had or that we know, in fear of something different, in fear and crippled by fear and motivated and moved by fear. And I'm here to remind you that yes, fear can be real. There is a real sense of your body and you having fear. Fear helps you sometimes protect yourself. In a lot of instances and natural instances, when you're out in the woods, say you're meeting a bear, fear helps you instinctively, okay, be ready. Yes, I can be afraid of the bear. The bear can attack me. Having that fear is like, okay, this bear can attack. But what we have to do is befriending your fear as allowing yourself to say, this bear can attack me, but if I don't stand up for myself or do what I need or do what is necessary, this bear can attack me. So a lot of times scaring a bear back, or being instinctive and not so much running, but being still, or I forgot what the other instincts of doing a bear, but you get my point. So something that I'll give you my example. And I think this is an example that'll help a lot of people right now in this time, in this pandemic, and this rough time of, I don't know what's gonna happen to me. I could die if I go out and I'm in a crowd of 3 people. I don't know. A lot of people are so afraid of death right now. They're so afraid of what's going on and that they could die, that they don't know what's gonna happen after death, or where they're gonna go, or what they've done, or they don't think they've done everything that they're here to do. I remember I was in that situation when I had to get a transplant. And before I got a transplant, when I found out I was at end stage, I was in my 4th stage of kidney failure. I couldn't sleep well. When I was supposed to be awake, I was tired and sleeping. When I was supposed to be sleeping, I was awake. I was tired. I was worn out. I didn't even have the strength to smile. And I was a person that smiled all the time. But at times I just had the strength to just do this and be like this all day at work when I'm supposed to be smiling at people. I was tired. I was worn down. I was just done with it. And I learned a lot of things within that experience, but something that really hit me was I had a fear of death. I had a fear of dying. I was going to die at 24 or 25, which was in my brain because I was at end stage. I needed a transplant in order to survive, or I would go on dialysis. And dialysis has worn down people, taken a lot from people's body, and people end up dying on dialysis for being on dialysis. I had heard so many stories. And the true thing that I was fearing was dying. And it was just my first year of pharmacy school. I was like, I'm just getting started, God. Why? I remember I was on a plane to go to Houston for Christmas, because Christmas was in Houston this year with the family. And I wasn't a person that was just like, I'm going to break down and cry. No, I was that person that held on to my emotions. If I cried, I was by myself. I was alone. And I rarely did that. Or I just swept emotions under the rug, threw things away. Probably heard me tell stories in that way. And so at this point, I was on the plane and I had these fears. I'd had these thoughts for a while, but I was sitting there. There was nobody on the plane there was other people on the plane, but there was no family, no friends, nothing to really distract me. And I just sat there and I was just like, I was just talking to God, and I had a lot of questions. I was like, why me? Why now? Why this? I was going to pharmacy school. I thought I was on the right track. I thought it was this. I was out there, that. I thought I was going here. I thought this was going to happen and that was going to happen. And now I might be ready to die. And that was something I had to sit there and talk to myself and God about. I had to sit there and talk with and through my fear and befriend my fear and look at myself and say, I could die and I could be dead, but I have to accept that that could be the trajectory that my life goes in. I have to accept that I can't do nothing about it. I only have so much control. There's only so many things I control. I can take care of myself, keep going on the path that I'm supposed to go on, keep keep pushing myself in school, doing what I needed to do no matter what. But I could die. And that was something I had to sit there and face with myself and say, that's something that's out of my control. I can't control it. At that point, I had to give it over to God. I had to just look at it and talk to him and be like, all right, death, me and you could be hanging out. Me and you could be hanging out, and that's cool. Because I can't do anything but if I don't accept this. I can't go anywhere because I was crippled by that fear and that worry of dying so young. Like if I was 80, I'd have been like, all right, this death, I done my thing. It's time for you to come on. I could probably accept it then. But accepting death at 24, 22, 10 ages, small ages, accepting death at that young of an age can be hard. Especially when I was like, I'm just getting out on my own, doing my own thing, really doing what I feel is me, expressing myself and expressing who I am throughout the world and learning to do that. And it's like, I'm just getting started, God, why now? That's how I was thinking. And that's where I was. And I sat on that plane and tears rolled down my face and I just cried. And I know random people were like, this girl just randomly, quietly. I was quietly crying. I was just sat there and cried. And I cried for it's probably about a 30-minute, maybe 45-minute flight. And so I just cried. And that cry was a release, and it allowed me to accept the position I was in and how much control I had in that position, and to see that, why am I letting this fear cripple me? I have to continue to do, no matter if I'm going to die today, tomorrow, whenever, I have to continue to do what I've been called to do, where I'm supposed to be, whether that's the right choice, the wrong choice. I have to be okay with the choices I make. And the situation that we're in now, a lot of y'all are afraid. Y'all are in fear of dying, of losing loved ones that you're not ready to lose, of not being able to accomplish what you said you were supposed to accomplish. And maybe you've already accomplished it, you just didn't know. Or not doing what you think you're supposed to do, or how you think you're supposed to be presented in this world. A lot of you, the main fear is in this situation of dying. And that's a real fear to have. That's a real place to be. But in that, y'all have to remember, you don't have any control. Because if you look at it, people with the vaccine can die. People without the vaccine can die. In all of these circumstances. And in order to move through it, move past it, and have power in it, because you can have power even in you knowing you're going to die. And having power in it means that I stand that this could be my life, and this is okay to be my life, and this is okay for where it's at. I can't control any other place. All I can do is what I can do today at this moment and continue to do past that. It also means not giving up and saying, okay, I'm gonna die, this is it. No, even in that, even if it's your last day or last second, do what you're supposed to do. Give to yourself how you're supposed to give. Do what you need to do for others. Understand what you need to understand before you go, whatever. Don't let, okay, I'm dying, I'm just accepting that. That means that you have to give up everything. But that also can mean that you don't have to let it stagnate you, cripple you in not moving and not continuing to move. Fear is real. Fear can paralyze people. Fear can stagnate you. A lot of people are in stagnation right now because they're in fear. Fear of dying, fear of getting out of a career that they've been in for so long, but that is wearing and tearing on them, but they don't know what to do if they don't have money. Fear in so many things that people are not understanding and seeing that I need to sit with this. And sitting with it does not mean I'm going to hold on to it forever. Sitting with it just means being real, to be like, I'm afraid. I'm afraid to be heartbroken. I'm afraid to be broke. I'm afraid to be overweight or fat. I'm afraid that if I give love here, somebody won't be able to give that back. Sit in those. Cry if you need to. Because maybe there's something that you learned from a parent or another adult that said, if you give love this way, you're not going to get it back. And they've crippled and they've started to put something in and implant something on you that isn't supposed to be implanted on you or isn't supposed to be projected onto you. And you're holding on to somebody else's fear. Sit in your fears and see, are they your fears or are you holding on to somebody else's fear? And even in that, sitting in it and being friends with it and understanding it and knowing where that fear comes from and what that fear is about helps to let you relieve that fear, helps to let you break generational curses. Sometimes you're in fear of being broke, so you're going out here day for day trying to get dollar for dollar, scrounging for little money here or there rather than taking a leap of faith and trying something different because you're so stuck in fear that it's crippled you that this is the only way you think you can go. And these are the only things that you think you can do. This is the only way you think you know how to make it. And God is shaking a whole bunch of things up out here. There's a whole bunch that's getting shaken up to let y'all know that your foundation shouldn't be on, it's only one way. It's only this way. Your foundation needs to be a little bit more flexible, a little bit more understanding because things are changing. Things are fluid. You have to be prepared for change. You have to be open to it. And being open to change means being friends with your fear. It means knowing that your fear should not be controlling you. And it's sometimes not even about controlling your fears. When you have a friend, you don't want to control your friend. You just want to understand it, know it, and flow within that friendship and play the parts you can play and let your friend play that other part. Because sometimes being friends with that fear, you get to understand it and know it, and it allows you to expand more, open up more, allows you to see so much more about yourself and bring so much more about yourself out. Because you've been fearful of going over and talking or doing or being that type of person, when maybe a little bit of that type of person is what you need to be. These are just thoughts. These are just things from my experience in my life. Sorry, my hair's a little wet. You know what it is. These are things from my life and my experience that I really want you to understand. In order to be fearless, you have to be friends with your fear. You have to go out and know what those fears are. Sit with them, cry with them, see where they came from, see why you're feeling that, and say, this is not who I have to be or how it has to look. Some of y'all are fearing of disappointing your parents. So you're not stepping out on faith to do a job or to go and do what you're purposed to do, which would really shine your light bright. You're fearful of your parents not being in approval of who you are. And a lot of times that says more about their own fears than yours. And you're holding on to somebody else's fears. Don't let fears cripple you. Don't try to push fears away or try to go around the fears or try to act like I can avoid that fear by doing this. Because that's all you're doing, is avoiding a fear by doing something that's kind of counterintuitive, rather than stepping into that fear and understanding it and flowing with it. And you will have to do less work. Because when you're trying to maneuver around your fears, you're trying to do twist moves, blocks, you're trying to do spin moves on it, fake it out, pump fake. You're doing a lot of extra work when really you could flow to the basket, because hey, and it might give you a little push, could give you a little alley-oop. And those are things that you have to understand and how you have to look at your fear. Your fear is not a burden, it is a gift. It is a gift to show you that maybe you're blocked here. Maybe you're limiting yourself here. Maybe you're not seeing the full picture that you need to see in order to get where you need to get. Maybe you're not accepting some part of yourself that's important for you to accept. Because when you accept that part of yourself, other people are seeing that I can accept that part of myself. When you accept that you're different, or that you see things one way, maybe other people can accept that. When you accept that you may die and you can't control that fully, other people will accept and see that what is there to fear in death? That means I need to live my life to the fullest. I need to be able to do what God has called me. Let this fear, go dig deep into it. God will call you to something that you're supposed to be in, that you might have missed that you were supposed to be in. Sometimes like I said, when you tap into that fear, God shows you something that you were supposed to see and part of who you're supposed to be. We can't keep letting this fear, and fear can have you do some erratic, crazy things. Just like we see things going on right now. People in fear of losing money or fear of something else happening to them. They're going out hurting and killing people because they don't know how to deal with their fear. And it comes out in anger. It comes out in sadness and depression. It comes out in hurting others. It comes out talking shit to other people or telling other people because they don't have this, they're not going down the right direction. So people are just projecting their fears onto other people and projecting what they're scared of onto others. Like I seen somebody, just because you didn't get the vaccine, that's why you died. Like, damn, really? You gonna do somebody like that? That's how you view this? That's what you gonna project onto somebody else? I made the right decision. Sometimes the right decision for you is not always the right decision for that person. That's why it's power in fear. It's power in knowing who you are. I want you to be powerful. Powerful is understanding who you are. Powerful does not mean hoarding it over people or I'm better or I'm this. It's understanding who you are and working within that and working with God, divine, however you see it within that, and working together. Because when the power that he's put in you, when he's put that in you and you're able to see who you are, see your fears, face those things that you need to face, it's going to be so much easier on your path, because he's going to help you out. He's going, okay, she got it. She's working with this. She's doing her part. Let me help her out and move her along faster. Let me help her out and this person can go away. Boop, boop. She don't need to meet this person because this person gonna be some more trouble for her, and she already working through the trouble she's working through. So come on, be friends with those fears. Be cool with them. Dap them, high five, take them for a drink, however you like to do it. Get to know them. Get to know how they're working. Get to know how they're affecting who you are and your inner being. Whether it's hindering, whether it's not allowing something of who you are to show up, which is hindering. Whatever. We gonna get through it. Anyway, don't let that fear run your life. Don't let that fear halt you, stop you, make you project or harm other people, or be mean or be angry or hateful to other people because they don't see your issue. Because you're making a decision based off your issue or your fear or what you see. Sometimes fear can hinder us from seeing other aspects and understanding other aspects. And love is understanding. Understanding, okay, that person's coming from a place of fear. Let me back up. I don't need to push anything. That's something that person's got to work through. Or, oh, that person is transforming or transitioning through something. Let me give them space. Let me understand that that's where they are. Instead of saying, oh, well, he treated me this way. Get it. Some people are going to treat you horribly, and you probably need to separate yourself from that person. But there's also needs to be a form of understanding, like understanding that we may have with our family. And understanding just means you are allowing yourself to see them from a different perspective and see the deep down perspective of who they are at this moment or where they're at. A lot of times fear can have you alone when really you need to be around some people. Fear can have you worried about things that you're not even supposed to be worrying about. And it's hindering you. Again, stopping, halting, hindering, however you want to put this. So be friends with those fears. Hang out with, get to know them, cry with them, and accept that that can happen and you have no control over it. But what can you do from here? How can you show up for yourself? How can you show up for maybe somebody else in a different way? Don't let your fear dictate your life and project your issues onto somebody else. Because a lot of times that's what we're doing in this fear. That's what a lot of people are doing. I'm going to project what I have an issue with on you because my fear should be your fear, and then you're giving your people your other fears. That's how generational trauma comes about. That's how trauma with the whole group of people that's going on right now is coming about. And at this moment, you just need to be within yourself and look at those things that you're fearing. Be honest with yourself. I have some people being fearful of success. Think about that. If you're fearful of success, you're fearful that what you've seen, the downsides of success, where people going off at you, people getting canceled, people doing this. Face that. Face those things. Because then it allows you to set boundaries, not to fully control a situation, but set boundaries for what you need. What does your success look like? Maybe you set a success where you are doing videos and you can only do them so many times a week and you're not wearing yourself out. Or you're doing so many things. Sorry, that was somebody else on my window. Anyway, you're doing so many things where you set a precedent of what success looks like to you, what your house looks like, what your family looks like, what your business looks like. Not how many millions it has, not how many people like you, but the people you surround yourself, what you accept, what you don't accept, what you allow and what you don't allow. Don't let that fear of success halt you and hold you back from doing what you're supposed to because you're fearful that everybody's gonna like it. You get to dictate how things can go. Your environment. Don't think you don't have control over what your environment is. And when I say control, that means maybe not allowing some people in, or knowing how to deal with or accept what is coming into your environment, or how to look at it, or how not to look at it, or how to prepare yourself for things that you may see. And knowing that even if you don't have control, God's got control, and God can help you work it out. And he can help you show you. Because when you face that fear, you're saying, God, I don't want to deal with something like this, or I don't know how to deal with something like this. He's going to give you the insight and the ways to deal with it. He's going to put you in scenarios to say, might be what you have to deal with. Let me show you what you're going to have to deal with, and let me show you how to navigate this. Let me show you how to not worry about what the fuck them people saying. Or if they're saying anything, excuse my language, if that offends you. Let me not have to worry about what somebody tells me is wrong in the way I'm doing things. Or I'm not supposed to do it that way or do it this way. So don't let your fear hold you back. Don't let your fear control your life or control somebody else or try to control somebody else's life or what somebody else should be doing or how they should be doing it. That's not what your fear is about. And maybe you have fears because something has happened before and you carried it on into something else that it hasn't even happened there or won't even happen. Face those fears. Walk in them. Be in them. You'll get new tools when you walk in them. God will give you tools that you never knew you had. God, universe, divine, however you see it. Whatever. He'll give you tools that you never thought you had. New tools to deal, to cope, to understand, to see a different perspective, to go a different way, to know that you can handle not being at work, or you can handle being at work and doing a job, or you can handle whatever it is that you are supposed to come up against. So I hope you guys enjoyed today. I know it's not Middle Monday. You'll be okay. Y'all probably was the one person that was watching it too. I don't know however. Or how many ever joined. Probably aren't gonna trip about that. I hope this message helps you. Please conversate. That's the wrong way to put it. Please, if you have any questions, remarks, put them in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I'm here for you guys. I'm here to share the things in life that I have learned, the things in life that I hope that you can see, change your perspective about yourself, your health care, how you see other things around you, and how to navigate this whole health, wellness, mental clarity thing. Because it's a lot, and it's a whole lot more than some people have bargained for or understand. And if I understand it within me, so I hope what I understand within me can help translate what you need and how you need to see it, and maybe how you need to have how you need to see it is have a different perspective, and how you can see it for yourself. So thank you guys. I appreciate you every single time. You guys have a wonderful Monday and a great week.